Hey, welcome to this episode of Reestablishment. I'm your host, Bodie DeAndre. I've got my Navy Master Chief Cap on today because we want to appeal to all veterans. If you're a veteran or you know somebody that's a veteran, you need to stay tuned to this podcast. We've got some critical information for you, things that will help you, guide you, and give you resources that are very, very easy to get. They're ones that will help you. They're ones that will change your life for sure. Today we have a special guest on the podcast. I'm going to read his credentials because I don't want to screw it up and miss anything. Dr. Damon Friedman, he's a retired Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force in Special Operations. You know me, a lot of times being a senior enlisted with an officer, we have that little banter back and forth. But no, we're symbiotic here on this one. And I can tell you that this guy is a real deal. And I would be ecstatic to serve with him anytime, day or night, or anywhere in the world. He's had four combat deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's had 3 Bronze Stars, 1 with the V device, and Air Force Combat Action Medal. He was a 2018 Spirit of Hope Award recipient. He's got a new book out, which is fantastic. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And he is in charge of a group called Sof Mission. And I'm going to turn it over to him to talk about that. But I don't want you to go away. You've got to listen to what we're going to say. Here's why. I'm a vet. I've been through some of the stuff we're going to talk about. He knows. He's been there himself. He didn't just start this as something to do post-military. He did this because he himself was a client before he even started this, before he even knew that he was a client. And so, brother, welcome today. I'm so glad you're here. And tell us about SOF and whatever is on your heart.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much, Bodie, for being on. And, you know, awesome. Congratulations to your retirement as well.
Thanks.
Thank you for your years of service.
Yeah.
My Navy brother. And, of course, we are going to be doing a lot of bantering back and forth for sure.
That's what we do.
It's healthy camaraderie, okay? Yeah, just really grateful that we're having a platform here trying to connect and communicate to all of those veterans that are out there, active duty, anyone who's put on the uniform. As you mentioned earlier on, when we first started, you know, when you first start in the military, you are sacrificing something very significant, something very critical, something very vital that 99% of Americans will never experience. Many people do not know that only 1% of Americans sign on the bottom line, take the oath, and make a commitment to keep our country free. So I just want to start off by simply saying, my brother, thank you so much for serving, and it's an honor to be right here on this show.
Thank you too. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, you know, over the past year, talk about some of the stuff you've been doing.
Yeah.
And then catch us up to date on what's happening now.
Yeah, so long story short, I've just recently transitioned. So I retired myself, 20 years, 5 years in the Marine Corps, 15 years in Special Warfare. And once I decided to retire, I made a command decision just like you, right? There's a million things that many of us can do. A lot of our servicemen and women are very talented. And so I believe down the core of my soul that our veteran community, each and every one, is called to do something radical in this world, to change the world for good, to be these world changers. And that's what I decided to do. So as I retired, we stood up Friedman Force Enterprise, and we are now leading the charge to combat the suicide epidemic through SOF Missions. So on one side, I have this platform where I'm speaking nationally. I'm with Premier Speakers Bureau, really communicating not just my story and not just my testimony, but also the problem, the epidemic in the United States on how over 20 veterans are taking their lives every single day. And I'm looking in the audience of some very, very talented, wealthy individuals, people with resources, people that can actually move the needle. And I'm challenging each and every American. We have 300 plus millions of Americans, and I believe that America has, from the very beginning, been changing the world for good. And regardless of some of the challenges that we're dealing with today, and we all know what we're talking about right here, but the reality is that every veteran out there that I'm talking to, I'm saying, you are called to change the world for good, and this is what I'm doing. And then I challenge people like, well, how are you doing it? Let me tell you how I'm doing it. I'm doing it through SOF Missions. And how am I doing it? I'm providing free high-end medical care to my veteran community, and it is holistic, and we're batting 1,000. It's psychological, it's physical, it's social, it's spiritual, it's cognitive, and it's done with absolute excellence. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, so good. Matter of fact, that your excellence is done so well that the military's seen it and said, we're not up to your standards, and they've actually brought you on, correct?
Yeah, so right now in the state of Florida, and I got to just give, a high five to Governor DeSantis and his entire team.
Right.
The veteran issues is a bipartisan issue.
Right.
It's very important that people understand that. It's not a Republican issue. It's not a Democratic issue. This is an all-team issue,
Right.
all right? And the reality is that they started funding our organization, providing millions of dollars to so that we can provide this exceptional high-end medical care. And we've got amazing state representatives, state senators that are really backing us up because they know that what we're doing is highly effective. When you start looking at the epidemic, you've mentioned this before when we first got on. It's like billions of dollars have been spent, and the needle hasn't been moved. There hasn't been a dent in it, and
let
how
me
we're
talk
doing it,
about
we're
that.
solving that.
Because that's a huge passion of mine.
Yeah,
In that the last 20 years is when we can really chart the beginning of the suicidal epidemic.
Yeah.
And let's back up and let's talk. So if you're a veteran, and we'll just confront the elephant in the room.
sure.
If you've been depressed, you have high anxiety, you've thought about suicide, you're not alone.
That's right.
If you think that this is an American problem, you're wrong.
That's right.
This is a global problem. And we, up until like last year or two, the United States wasn't even in the top 20 countries in the world with this problem.
Good stat.
We're now a lot higher,
Yeah,
but we weren't.
that's right.
And so we have built an entire industry, kind of like the auto industry. And you said billions. I would say trillions of dollars have been spent in helping. And I'm all for, if there's a hotline, if there's a pastor, a friend, a family member, if there's somebody you can trust, go there, and I'm for it. I've personally talked people out of suicide. But we haven't touched it. And
That's
you
right.
said it.
That's right.
So the numbers vary about 1% to 1.5%.
That's right.
We saw some changes during COVID where they went up and down a little bit
That's right.
based on that. But through all of this money, all the numbers, all the phones, all the training, all the education, we still have the same number of people
Right.
that are taking their own lives, and
Right.
it's disgusting.
Right.
And we've got to stop it. We've got to find a way. And what that tells us is what we've been doing isn't working.
That's right.
But what we do know is, and I'm going to couch this so all of our viewers and listeners, I'm going to say it this way: we have not got to the heart of the matter.
That's right.
And the key word there is the heart.
That's right.
So we've been working on the physical, we've been working on the functional, we've been working on the academic, the training portion of it, but we haven't been working on the connection. You know, someone once said the toughest 18 inches in a person's body is between the heart and the head.
Oh, that's good.
and
I like
and
that.
I like that.
I like that.
And I think that that's where we've done more with the head, and we have not really gotten to the heart of the matter.
Right. Right.
And so, sorry for taking this away from you, but
No.
I'm so passionate about it.
No, well, I'm
And
too,
that-
and I'm glad.
Everything that we've done, the numbers are still the same.
That's right.
And so that's why I wanted to have you on,
Yes.
because your numbers are changing.
That's
and
right.
you're actually to the point where people are looking at you going, what is it you're doing again?
That's right.
Because what you're doing has a different result. So,
That's right. That's right.
So if somebody comes, it's a week-long program
That's right.
that you start with, is a 1 week intensive kind of thing.
That's right.
And take us through what you kind of do with them.
Yeah, so like in bullets, all right, you mentioned this. This is probably the most profound piece that you've shared. The reason why the many organizations, I would say our government or any type of public for-profit or nonprofit organization is committed to putting some kind of a dent to the suicide epidemic. The reality is that in order to really solve this problem, we have to get to the core issue. And I think that too many programs are focused on the symptoms, focus on kind of like, Band-Aid solutions and not getting to the core. So for us, we've realized that if you really attack this, because it's an enemy, you have to do it holistically. That's why our program is so successful. You have to combat this issue psychologically, physically, socially, spiritually, and cognitively. All right. And the biggest problem is that we're throwing talk therapy at everything. Yeah. And that's why we're not solving it. When trauma
it's
occurs.
It's like a Band-Aid. It's like first aid.
Yeah. And when trauma occurs, it's being processed in multiple domains. It's being processed in the psychological domain, the physiological domain, the cognitive domain, the spiritual domain. And so when we start throwing alternative treatments that are just psychological in nature, but you got trauma and it's being processed in multiple domains, that's why individuals are like, okay, I've been doing this talk therapy forever, but I'm going to pull the trigger anyway. And let me tell you why, because the bad guy was not in the psychological domain. For me, many people ask me, well, do you have PTSD? Is that why you had all the challenges? I'm going to tell you right now. I definitely have PTSD, numerous deployments to combat. I've seen war. I've seen the worst things, but I'm going to tell you PTSD isn't what almost took my life. It wasn't. It was the fact that I was having cognitive issues. I have 5 mild traumatic brain injuries, synonymous with concussions, and I was having an existentialistic crisis, and I was having deep-rooted spiritual issues when it comes to war, when it comes to, my dysfunctional family coming up with all these adolescent issues, and then it's exacerbated in killing. And humans are not meant to kill. So I wanted to just kind of preface that. How we're solving the problem is this. Pretty simple. We're flying in, warriors from all 50 states, men and women. All right, we're having all men or all female clinics because both of them are very unique, and they're processing way different traumas.
Totally agree.
Way different, and now's not even the time to really parcel that out.
Right.
We bring them in and we do a full assessment, right? We have we do quantity, quality, so we have 10 warriors, 1 week, 20 healthcare practitioners in one single day. So we're solving the PTSD issue, the mild traumatic brain issue, the insomnia issue, the moral injury issue, the stress issue, the fuel issue, the exercise issue, and all sorts of other issues that are going along there. And so we're seeing all these practitioners like the Mayo Clinic, and you're working hard. You're not coming to my clinic and hanging out. But in one day, just even to solve the chronic pain issue, which is a significant variable about why people take their lives, it's not just, I have these bad dreams. It's waking up. You just got done having a bad dream. Your neck hurts. Your back hurts. Your knee hurts. You haven't been working out. You're busy drinking all night long. So now you have a consumption issue. You can't exercise. You can't express that stress out. You got all this other stuff happening. And plus the cognitive issue, you've got not just anxiety and depression, but you have blurred vision. You have light sensitivity. The whole thing comes together and you just feel like the whole world is collapsing on you.
I talked to a guy recently and tinnitus.
Oh, yeah.
Tinnitus makes you just want to lose your mind.
Absolutely. We even address tinnitus and everything else. And so what we do is that after the 5 days, like just in one day, brother, in one single day, just to solve the chronic pain issue, you see our head physician that's like, in orthopedics. You see a chiropractor, a physical therapist, an acupuncturist, massage therapist, and then you close the loop with my head guy. And just in one day, you can't, that doesn't exist unless you're a person of wealth or you're like an NFL athlete. That's just the way it works. And so after those 5 days, I give you a follow-on care plan. And guess what? You get all of the care for 1 complete year. And then that way, our team is with you. It's not a one-stop shop. It's not just drop the bomb and run away. No, it's just like war. You drop the bomb, and then the infantry comes on through. And then we reserve it, we protect it, right? We own that piece of land, and we do it for 1 complete year at Sof Missions, and that's the movement that I'm igniting.
So where are you located?
Yeah, so we've got our headquarters right here in Tampa. Okay. We do have offices up in the Panhandle, and we have our medical main clinic right here in Tampa, but opening up resiliency retreats across the state of Florida.
Yeah, this is so critical, and we're going fast because we're trying to get out so much information.
Yeah.
Some of you may need to visit this podcast 2 or 3 times.
100%.
To really digest everything that we're saying. Because everything that we're saying is so stinking true.
That's right.
And we all know it. We've all experienced it that have been in the military, and nobody really wants to talk about it.
That's right.
They don't want to. We can confront the enemy. We can't confront ourselves very well.
That's right.
And so I think that this is so important that this message gets out. The other thing, too, is when we do the long-term portion, or you take them on for a year, a lot of times we think, I think a lot of folks don't want to get their hands dirty. That if they can just do it short term, if I can just talk you down, then you're okay. And I think that long-term thing is so critical. The other thing for me, I don't know that I've ever shared this, is I never had post-traumatic stress disorder, but I did have post-traumatic stress.
Sure, of course.
Seriously.
Yeah.
For about 3 weeks. And probably the best thing to do, you met my wife earlier, probably should have her on, because she could tell that part of my story because I couldn't.
Right.
For me, I was acting normal, but for her, she saw the before and after. And I think a lot of folks, because I did have a good upbringing, I did have faith, I did have family, I had post-traumatic stress, but it never became a disorder. And I think a lot of times, doctors have been so quick to categorize people with a disorder. And I'm saying, wait a minute. We were in combat, and there's post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
If you didn't have post-traumatic stress, then you would have the disorder. Like, when bad things happen, you should be stressed out and geared up. That's what causes you to stay alive.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that that's a disorder.
That's correct.
And so I think sometimes doctors want to give that quick, and then they tell people to actually talk them into,
Yeah.
you're goofed up for life. You got
Yeah.
PTSD, and you'll never get out of it.
Yeah.
And there is hope. I'm here to tell you.
Yeah.
There is hope. There is a way out. You can have a prosperous life in many different dimensions.
100%.
And we've just got to get the word out. So, again, today, if you're watching this podcast or you're listening to it, you're on your way home, we've got to tell you there is hope for the vet that you know or the vet that you are. That we can do this. So I want to give a tease real quick, and then we're going to tell people how to get a hold of you.
Sure.
But real quick, I want you to tease the new thing that you got coming, and we're going to visit this once it gets really fully implemented.
Yeah.
So tell us what's going on, man. What's the newest?
Yeah, so bottom line is that we've got, I wrote this book called Igniting Movements. So I'm a movement theorist, right? I'm a specialist in that. And so what we're doing is that we're having a national campaign to really not only create awareness, but having Americans all across the nation join forces to finally bury this enemy called suicide. And the way that we're doing it is through Operation Red Belt. All right, and
Cool.
and all I can say is it's going to be everywhere. This is going to be an opportunity to really move the needle, and it's going to be across the nation. And we're really looking forward to the atomic impact that we're going to make. It's going to be nuclear, brother. Nuclear.
He doesn't toot his horn, so I'll do it for him. He's been on all the major networks. He's been with in mainstream media. He's still connected with top levels and top officials in the government. And so when we talk about this, think about a social movement, a sexual movement, whatever. And you know what their signs are. So those of you listening to us,
That's right.
If we talk about the rainbow, you kind of know what that means. If we talk about a fist up in the air, you know what that means. If we flash the peace sign, all these different things.
Right.
But we really don't have an identity for suicide.
That's at 100%.
And so that is what the Red Belt movement's going to be.
That's right.
And you'll have a way that people can recognize you as being one that's in it to win it.
That's right.
To combat suicide.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I'm super stoked about this because this red belt is not anything like you've ever seen. This thing, I mean, you can have a special operations operator wearing it, jumping out of a perfectly good airplane at 25,000 feet on oxygen, all the way down to golfing, looking sweet, to all the way to working man's belt for construction. To looking sharp in a suit. I wore it over in our last gala. I was in all black, and they just said, "Man, that belt looks amazing. It's tough. It's attractive, and it's just awesome." And I cannot wait for every American to be wearing it because it's a sign that we're, as a collective, finally coming together to stop this terrible epidemic. You mentioned this earlier on, how we were not even one of the top in the whole world when it comes to suicide. And now, I mean, we're just notching away as one of the
we're like number
leaders.
Fourth at last I looked
as one of the top leaders in the entire world when it comes to suicide. And we have to do something. Last thing I want to say is this belt obviously is about combating the epidemic among the veteran community, but it is going to be a universal sign because suicide is not just a veteran issue. It's not just a law enforcement issue. It is not an adolescent issue. Many people don't realize that, it's second or third leading cause of death, depending on what, data point you have. For adolescents, right? This is an American issue, and we all have to do something about it.
Yep, and we are. So, if you're listening to us today and you're a vet, you're still in, maybe you're in the reserves, maybe you're active duty, maybe you're retired, disabled, it doesn't matter. you're still a warrior. You're still a hero.
That's right.
Just because if you're not serving on active duty right now, nothing has changed other than maybe the clothing and maybe your pay, right? But what brought you there, what made you a hero, what made you somebody that protected our nation doesn't stop. And we want you to know you're still a hero. You still have plans for your life. God loves you. Your spirit man is still good. We want you to know that there's hope, there's help, and we want to be that conduit that maybe can get you the help that you need.
Yep.
So in closing, real quick, give us how people can get in contact with you and what's the best way to reach you.
Yeah, if you want to learn a little bit more about what I'm doing and the movements that I'm spearheading, just go to damonfriedman.com, DAMON Friedman, FRIEDMAN. And last but not least, if you're a veteran and you're looking for help and you need that help, or you're a family member that's looking to get information about this, go to sofmissions.org. sofmissions.org. It's very easy to find us, and we are here to help you. All right.
Yeah. So even if you think, well, maybe this isn't for me, or maybe it's for somebody that you know, check it out anyway. Go to sofmissions.org and just take a look. That's all I'm asking you to do. You don't have to make a commitment. You don't have to do anything. But if you're struggling with some of these areas, just go take a look at what's on there and give it a good once over and allow yourself to take care of yourself. We're good caregivers for other people, but a lot of times we're not good at caring for ourselves.
Yeah.
And just take a look at that. Please go there. Please check it out. Man, I am so glad to have you today.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to do it again.
Absolutely.
And again.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And when you come back, we're killing on the Red Belt.
Yeah, Operation Red Belt coming for you. We're going to make a nuclear explosion. Thank you so much, Bodie, for having me.
Yep.
Very excited. And I want to say one last thing about what Bodie said, and that is this, is how in the world are you ever going to be able to take care of all the people that love you and care about you, the people that you love and care about, if you don't take care of yourself? If you're a veteran out there, if you're hurting and you need help and you don't know where to go, please go to sofmissions.org. It's what I did a long time ago, and I'm doing a whole lot better, and I'm a productive member of society, and by God's grace, I'm making this atomic impact with an incredible team. So, Bodie, thank you very much, and whoever you are out there, please get the help that you need, because God loves you, has a plan for you, and you are called to change the world for good. Thank you so much, Bodie. Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for joining us today for this podcast of Reestablishment. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Raise your hands up. Raise them up.
This episode of Reestablishment is brought to you by Man360.tv, a show for men about manly things. Check it out, Man360.tv.